Hello, Captains. It's me, TONIK TZW. Now, if you've been on the channel a while, you'll know how much I love playing the Daring. Just its agility and its functionality makes it a brilliant destroyer to play. But if I was to turn round and tell you that I think I found something better, you probably wouldn't believe me. But trust me, the Gdansk, or Dansk, is a bureau project that if you like your destroyers, you will want to get that research done and get your tech tree played through to make sure that you can unlock this thing at the earliest opportunity. This one's called the Duck of Death. Believe it or not, this was only the second game that I played in this ship, and it is a filthy, dirty, delightful destroyer to play. Now, I've got it built pretty much as a gunboat, but I've thrown turret traverse in the first slot, and I have put an epic reload booster there in the last slot. We've got a little bit of concealment and some rudder shift. Now, it is fast. It says its torpedoes are short range, but they're not, as you'll see from the stats. They are 10 kilometers at 82 knots. With the build, we've got a reload down there to 4.1 seconds. Obviously, if we change the last slot, we could get a reduced reload on that, but it's already quick enough for me. There we go. Torpedoes 10k, 82 knots. Just over 11,000 on the max damage. Don't know how that compares to something like the Wall of Skill Shima. But with the build, we're running 6.1 concealment, but that doesn't matter. We got Jerzy Swirsky as our captain. That's his setup there that I've got on this one. We've left AA in that first slot there with Mordov and Sims giving us the extra hit points at legendary tier, which I think took us up to 24,000 HP. In division with Young Chopper, and in reviewing the match and after the match, we had a bit of a discussion because I think I did leave him hanging a little bit, and I'll apologize for that right now and say, I'm sorry, Chops. But this is going to turn into a stormer with some beautiful predictive play. A few places where I thought I was going out in the biggest of bangs, and somehow we're going to finish with an absolute beauty, and we're going to collect some medals along the way. So do not skip forward on this one. You're going to want to watch this fight all the way through because I'm going to tell you exactly what was going through my head as we played through this game. Now, Chops knows there's an Ohio out there. There's a Yamato. There is a Grosser Kurfürst. There's some mighty, mighty battleships out there. Now, I'm pushing into this cap. Now, if you're watching me do this, you can get tucked in on the side of this cap on this island and basically not be spotted unless somebody comes all the way round. Now, if you're thinking of using this tactic in a game, and I'm in that game, you might want to think twice because I will generally always push across and I will put some torpedoes down in this corner, or if I'm running the daring, I'll run this corner down with sonar while you're sat in your smoke screen. There was a destroyer on the cap, so I've popped my radar. We're using this trick that we have with Jerzy Swirsky's skill, where as the radar is about to run down, you pop your smoke screen and it extends the length of your radar for the duration that it takes your smoke screen to deploy. So you can get 30 seconds on this, and we've managed to push that destroyer off the cap. We are going to lose our destroyer there on Charlie Cap, and there wasn't anything that I think he really could do there because he was up against a Gdansk as well. But seeing that smoke screen and thinking, what would I do if I'm on an uncontested cap? I take it, then I push through to the center of the map. So I'm going to put my torps out there and we are going to push. Now, what I wanted to do was just to try and spot, remain undetected myself, and wait for my radar to come down off cooldown because I am located And we know that we can get guns on to the destroyer if we can spot them. Don't want to get too close to that Des Moines. But what I will say about Charlie Cap there is they do have a Worcester there. Now, I'm guessing he didn't want to push in. He wanted to sit and do a bit of jam spam. Oh, look, torpedo hits. And that will be a dev strike on red team's Gdansk, which was an absolute beauty for me. I really enjoyed the fact that he went out of the game because if you know what you're up against, and it's the same ship as you are, it can be a bit more of a challenge playing. But we've pushed out on this smoke screen. We unspotted chopper is. So we know that the DD is away from the cap. And although we did take a cap, there is a cap across there. And they've sailed off the cap and let red team sail into it. And red team are flipping that while all three of those ships are stacking on the corner. And it's like, even if just one of you's contested it, it could potentially stop it from flipping because they can't get shots on from where they are. And that Kavarov's there. I imagine that he's pulled a 180 sailing out there to try and get his torpedoes onto something in the corner. Looking at this GK, I'm just thinking that is a beautiful fat broadside, but I don't have smoke available. Otherwise, I could wail on this guy. This ship only has high explosive shells, and I wish it had armor piercing as well. But for the strengths it has got, yeah, we'll do away with the armor piercing. We'll settle for not having that. I was hoping that GK might slow down and back up. And for whatever reason, our Worcester is sailing straight towards it. He has a Minotaur on his flank, and that is just a recipe for disaster. And he is going to get absolutely slapped back to port. You can see that on Alpha Cap, one of the battleships is pushed around. I think the Kavrusk is stuck on the corner. We get the Vela spotted momentarily there, but we do take a lot of fire. And keeping an eye on the minimap there, we can see that the Awami that was fighting on Charlie Cap is now coming back our way because the destroyer is gone and the Worcester is gone. We've only got one cap. Red team have got two. We are three ships down to their two as well. So now we need to try and do something about it. Chops is playing safe, but he is getting the damage out there from the position he's in. And he keeps calling out that he's spotted. But I know that I need to try and do something here to stop this GK coming round behind us. This Awami, yep, he's got obviously a legendary captain because he's just propped there. We're going to put the torps out. We over lead him a little bit too much. I should have thought he was going to slow down coming around the corner because obviously the Awami has torpedoes too. We're spotted. We're going to get some torpedoes on there. But what we don't see is a Yamato pushing in through Charlie Cap, getting closer to us. The Minotaur has pushed around as well. And I'm like, we need to get rid of this GK. We need to get rid of this GK. And the fire starting chance on these shells, I think, was 12 point something percent. We've got a rapid reload, and we're going to keep the pressure on this guy. There's the fire. The Awami is getting absolutely battered. We are spotted now because the Yamato has pushed around from Charlie Cap. We need to get rid of the GK, and then we need to start moving again. Last salvo out there as the GK takes a shot at us, knocks about 20% of our hit points down. Awami is broadside to the Yamato, stops me dead in the water, and I'm thinking that right about now, I am absolutely screwed because I need to open the distance away from this guy. Potentially try and get a fire on him. I haven't got torpedoes available, but we're going to keep kiting away. The Awami goes out. Chops is kind of stuck, but he is going to get his torpedoes out there too, towards that Yamato. Blue team, back across there on Alpha Cap. They've pushed back in. They've pushed the destroyers off the cap. I don't know how many hit points that Kava has left, but they're flipping the cap back, and that is hopefully going to bring it back in our favor. I'm looking at where Chops is. I'm looking at the range I have on this Yamato here, He gets, luckily, not a very good hit on me, but my torpedoes are coming back up. The Ohio out there takes another shot at us, and I think this guy is going to back up round the corner. Ohio's going single turrets. It's not enough. So as we kite away, we're going to try and add to the pain on that Yamato. That's a hell of a lot of hit points out there. We get another fire on. We're going to keep shooting until we disappear. He's got HE loaded. Chops' tops are running towards him, which is going to distract him. And I'm going to swing back around this corner. But we know we've got the Minotaur on that the south edge of Charlie Cap, just behind that island. And it's like, what do we do now? He's taken some good hits. That looks like Chop's Torps made good contact. He is still ticking down. We know he damage controlled that fire. We're spotted by the Minotaur. Chops is going to put an absolute blinder here. How this wasn't a dev strike, I don't know. And this is where that I wish that I had armor piercing, because we would have taken that guy down in the first salvo, but instead it's going to take us 3 salvos and he is gone. I don't know what the penetration of these guns is. Somebody more technical, that's a CC, who does all the maths and the nerdy stuff, will tell you that. So I'm looking at the minimap. Chops is pushing forward. We know the 2 DDs out there, but the cabba's there as well. And I'm thinking there's 2 battleships and a destroyer there. Those DDs are just going to sit at range and keep trying to torp. And I decided that to seal the deal, I'm going to push round and try and stop this Ohio from pushing round and potentially get on the cap. But I also did think that perhaps one of the destroyers had run round in this direction. I'm not located though, so that should have been an indicator. You'll notice that I'm not running Twist and Track or Perceptive on Jersey Swirsky. So to me, playing without that does require a little bit more skill. You've got to be more aware of the use of your radar and your smoke. I don't have either available. The only thing I've got is an engine boost and an Ohio out in front of us. There is the gearing on the corner. The Cabot is running him down. I'm thinking, okay, there's 4 ships there that pretty much have got line of sight on that guy. They should be able to do something about it. We should be okay here. But I think the gearing is going to pop his smoke and disappear. Either that or the Cabot is going to pop his smoke. I didn't have time to look over, and these horrible little islands keep obscuring the view of this Ohio. 10k tops, we need to close down a little bit of distance, but we need to be clever in doing so. We don't need to get spotted. We do need the cap. Here we go. He's coming into range. So I'm going to put a turn in, and I immediately think, do I turn right and go away? Do I go left? Is he going to come into the cap? Is he going to go out of the cap? Can we get shots onto him? Can we get him spotted, get a fire on, and then hopefully get a ticking flood on him with those torpedoes? But it's not looking good. It's not looking good at all. The other destroyer from Red Team has pushed through onto A cap, so we are spotted by the Ohio. We're going to try and basically bait him into firing salvos at us so that he is not putting salvos at Chops or the 2 battleships. And this is good for me. He's got armor piercing loaded. This might hurt a little bit. No, we're lucky in that his dispersion is awful, but he's slowed down just enough for the torpedoes to go past him. There wasn't really a lot I could do there. I tried to predict his movement. It didn't work, did it? He is still, what I'd say 65, 70% health, but we have 2 caps again. We've got pretty much a 300-point lead. Nobody else has line of sight, and Chops pushes past there, and I think he tries to put a shot on. It's him, 2 battleships against 2 destroyers. Now, looking at where they are, they're not really a risk to B cap at the moment. So this Ohio is definitely not going to push into C cap. So I'm thinking, okay, let's see if we can get him spotted. Chops is going to put in a turn. I am going to get this Ohio spotted momentarily. We're going to keep blind firing that empty space. We kill some seagulls on the rocks. There's 1 DD behind them. There's one DD in front of them, and unfortunately, the Ohio does get a salvo off on chops and takes him out of the game. Things are looking a little bit more risky. Can we get shots onto this Ohio, get some fires on, get him ticking, and just annoy him enough that he stops shooting at other people and starts shooting at me? Now, those two battleships really want to be going away from the destroyers, not towards them. These islands are making it really difficult, but we lose the Montana as well. It is 2 plays 3 now. They've pulled it back to 150 points, but we get a high caliber. We've got a fire. We're past 150,000 damage. We've got the dev strike from the start of the game. And then I realized that actually I'm on 4 kills. And so I'm going to try and win harder. I know it's something I tell people that they should never, ever, ever do. We have the lead. Even if we lose that last battleship, I can stay alive, and the Caps should take the points. 1 minute and 11 seconds to play. Need to get this guy spotted. The other battleship is coming through the middle. I think it's A Montana, which I know is a pretty hard-hitting ship, but the Ohio has damage controlled his fires. I know it does have super heals, and I'm really hoping that he hasn't got one that he's going to pop now, because I am going to make a terrible mistake in my turn. I want to stay far enough away from him for his dispersion to hopefully miss me, and I want to stay close enough to him that I can actually put shots onto him. Get the fires burning. There's a witherer. That's 60,000 fire damage out of that total of. We're going to tick over 200,000. And I was like, holy crap. And there is the Kraken unleashed. And the clock is going to tick down through these last 15 seconds. There is no way Red Team can win this now. And we are going to take the victory with 9,000 hit points left. And we wouldn't have had those if we hadn't been running William Sims. So I think I made the right choice with my build there. So there we go, 204,500 damage, a high caliber, a witherer, a dev strike, and Kraken unleashed in only the second game that we played in the Dansk, or the Gdansk, however you want to pronounce it. And the leaderboard says it all. 3,687 base XP for me. Chops plays a solid defense in the defense and comes second there with, what's that? I can't see from here. Is that a 2,400, 2,600? I can't see. 6 kills between the two of us. 2 ships survived, and the rest of the team accounted for 1 ship between them. There's my stats. I've played 3. I've won 3. That was indeed the second match. We played one more after it. I forgot to screenshot it. At the start of the game, I forgot to tell you that with all new ships, we go out flying the Ducky flag, and there it is, high on the mast. But as she now has a Kraken to her name, she gets to fly the Jolly Roger, and she gets that lovely Shadow Camo from Black Friday. So don't forget, smash that like button, leave me a comment, let me know what you think of the ship. Subscribe to the channel if it's your first time past here. You can donate through PayPal in the channel description or through the super thanks on the video. Memberships are available too if you want to give me a little bit of extra support. And as always, until next time, take care of yourselves. Goodbye.